In the cold dark of space, the small alien scout ship floated silently above the ruins of Earth's moon base. Its lights blinked nervously, like it knew something was wrong. Inside, the pilot, a tall, blue-skinned alien named Cathan, watched the screen. His hands shook. The moon base should have been empty. It looked empty. Rusted metal, dead power lines, broken buildings. But something moved. Just for a second, a shadow crossed the surface. It didn't look like a machine. It didn't look like an animal. It looked ... human. Cathan pressed the come button. Command, this is Scout V9. I may have seen movement. Sending footage now, ... static. He tried again. Only silence answered ... Then. The ship's lights flickered. The engines died. A robotic voice whispered through the speaker. One Cathan didn't recognize. You entered restricted space. Warning, ignored. Human defense systems online. Cthulhu stood up, eyes wide. That can't be. Humans are gone. They died 300 years ago. But no one was there to argue. Outside the ship, something huge moved in the darkness. Silent, invisible, waiting. Then Cathan's screen turned black. Scene 1, the Galactic Union Council far across the galaxy. In the capital city of the Galactic Union, leaders from 12 alien species sat in a glowing white chamber. Plow walls, floating chairs. Holograms danced in the air. Admiral Vorta, a reptilian warrior with a scar down his face, stood at the center. We lost contact with Scout V9, he said. Last known position, Earth's moon. The council groaned. A purple-skinned speaker tapped the table. Earth again. Why do we care? Humans are extinct. Vorta shook his head. We never confirmed that. We just assumed. The last human broadcast was 300 years ago, and then nothing. A robotic envoy blinked its red eyes. Many planets died in the final human war. They destroyed themselves. Earth was ash. Yes, Vorta said. But we all agreed to never enter Sol System again. It was part of the Great Treaty. Another speaker asked, then why was a scout sent? Vorta hesitated. Because we picked up something. A signal. Weak, coded, old-style human language. And then, the scout ship disappeared. Whispers filled the chamber. Fear crept in like smoke. What if, one whispered, they're not gone? Scene 2, the signal in a dark lab deep inside a secure Union facility. 2 alien scientists studied the old human signal. It's coming from a satellite, said Dr. Yen, a bug-like creature with glowing eyes. One of their first war satellites. It should have been dead centuries ago. The second scientist leaned closer. But it's not. It's sending one line, repeating it. They turned up the volume. The words were in ancient English, old, distorted. If you hear this, do not come back. Earth is not empty. The scientists looked at each other. What does it mean? I don't know, Dr. Yen whispered, but I think it's a warning. Scene 3, Cathan's last transmission back at the Union Command Center. A broken data chip from Scout V9 arrived. The footage was damaged. GLITCHY. The screen showed Cathan looking scared. Behind him, alarms blinked. Then came the shadow. Quick, silent. One frame, just one, caught a clear image. A human, shape in armor, glowing red eyes, holding a weapon. The footage ended. No escape pod was launched. No distress signal. Just ... silence. The commander watching the feed stepped back. Impossible, she whispered. That's a human. But how? Scene 4, Forbidden Truths. Admiral Vorta opened a secret file. It had not been touched in 300 years. Inside were the records of Earth's final days, hidden from the public. Last known messages from the human generals. Last ship movements. Last threats. One video played. A human woman, dressed in black armor, stood before a burning Earth. This is not the end, she said. This is silence. We will return if you dare come back. Do not test us. We buried our world for a reason. Vorta shut the file. They didn't die. They hid. Scene 5. The council argues we should destroy whatever is left, shouted one speaker. Send a fleet. Burn it all. No, cried another. What if this is a trap? The humans were known for tricks, for war plans beyond understanding. Quiet voice rose above the noise. It was an old alien, eyes full of memory. I was there. During the human wars, I saw planets fall, ships vanish. They did not fight with numbers. They fought with fear. They made you afraid before they even arrived. The council fell silent. Then Vorta spoke. If they are returning, we must prepare. But how? Someone whispered Vor. Single quotes Ta looked out the window into the stars. But remembering why we were told never to return. Scene 6. The moon awakens on Earth's moon, hidden deep below the surface. Ancient machines powered up. They had slept for 1,000 years. Now they were awake. Massive hangars opened. Dust blew out into space. Rows of black warships stood ready, silent as death. Red lights flickered on their sides. A robotic voice echoed through the chamber. Human defense grid, online. Threat detected. War protocol reactivated. Countdown initiated. A single ship rose from the darkness. It had no name, no flag, just one purpose: war. The Union battlecruiser Silent Reach moved slowly through Sector 9, the edge of the solar system. Inside the command room, Captain Argyll sat in his seat, staring at the old map in front of him. "Coordinates received," said his navigation officer. "But sir, these coordinates are marked forbidden. No ship has entered them in 300 years. Argyll's eyes narrowed. "They come directly from Admiral Vorta. We follow them." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Everyone knew the legends. The Forbidden Zone was Earth's traps, rounded by mines, satellites, and cloaked sensors. The ship moved closer. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The ship's AI gave a low warning. "You are entering restricted territory. Please turn back." Everyone froze. That voice whispered a young crewman. "It's human," the message repeated. Louder this time. "This is your final warning. Retreat or face activation of planetary defense protocol." And then, out of nowhere, an old human satellite drifted into view. It looked dead. Then its eyes glowed red. Captain Argyll stood up, shields up. Reverse engines now. Too late, the satellite blinked once then, exploded in a flash of white light. The last image their black box recorded was a Shadow warship the size of a city, emerging from Saturn's rings. Scene 1. Council in crisis back in the Galactic Union. Council. Panic filled the chambers. A hologram of Admiral Vorta stood at the center. His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "We lost the Silent Reach. No survivors, no distress call, just silence." One speaker shouted, "You said the coordinates were safe." "They were," Vorta replied, "until now." Another speaker hissed, "You've awoken the humans." "No," said Vorta quietly. "We didn't wake them. They were never asleep." Scene 2. The Forbidden Data Vulcan, the Union capital planet. In a deep military bunker, Vorta walked into a cold chamber filled with red lights and locked vaults. An AI guardian greeted him. Accessing restricted file, Project Echo, Vorta placed his claw on a scanner. The vault opened. Inside was a single cube, the human protocol key. It had not been touched in 300 years. He plugged it into a reader. The lights dimmed. A hologram of a human appeared. It was General Dana Kor, the last known leader of Earth's final war. Her message played. "If this file is opened, it means you broke the treaty. You crossed the boundary. You ignored our silence. Then know this: our ships are not dead. Our world is not empty. And we do not forget." Vorta whispered to himself, "They planned this long ago." Scene 3. Ancient human Ferrocross. The galaxy, fear, spread like wildfire. Alien news channels repeated the phrase, "Human warships sighted." Military bases raised their shields. Borders were closed. Panic buying began on outer colonies and schoolrooms. Children asked about Earth. Are they monsters? Will they destroy us all? Why did we make them angry? An elder teacher replied softly, "Because we forgot what they were capable of." Scene 4. Fleet Command fractures in. A Union Fleet Command meeting. Generals from different species shouted, "We must send a full fleet and erase Earth." "No, that will provoke them. They've already attacked us." General Keltok, a mechanical strategist, slammed the table. "We don't even know their strength. They have warships," another snapped. "We saw one the size of a moon." "And yet," Keltok whispered, "they have not attacked the core worlds." "Why?" The room went quiet. They're testing us, said Vorta, walking in. They want to see how we respond. This is the first move in their game. Scene 5. Hidden messages, meanwhile, deep in a forgotten Union archive, a young alien researcher named Solin was decoding old human broadcasts. Most were corrupted, but one, just one, came through clearly. It was from 1,000 years ago. We don't want revenge, the human voice said. We want memory. We want them to remember who we were, Solin gasped. They never wanted to disappear, he said. They wanted to be feared. Scene 6. Shadow Fleet, near Neptune. A passing asteroid mining crew sent out a distress signal. They claimed to have seen something impossible. A fleet, hundreds of human warships, no lights, no sounds, just there. When a Union patrol was sent, check nothing was found. Empty space, but the miners were gone. Their last recording played. They're not machines. They're alive. The ships, they're looking at us. Scene 7. The decision back on the Capitol. The council had to choose. Do we strike first? Asked one speaker. Or do we talk? Many voted for war. But Vorta said no. If you attack Earth now, he said, you will lose. We don't even know their numbers. We don't know how many of their ships are hidden. We don't know if they already control parts of our systems. Someone asked, then what do we do? Vorta answered, we go silent, like they did. We listen, we prepare, and we pray they give us a chance to speak before they strike. Scene 8. Earth watches on Earth, buried beneath ancient cities and green overgrown ruins. Humans watched the galaxy panic. They were not gone. They had changed. They had hidden under mountains, inside oceans, and behind moons. They had turned their planet into a fortress. In a dark command room, the human leader stood before a giant map of the galaxy. She raised her hand. One by one, red lights appeared tracking alien fleet movements. Phase 1 is complete, she said. A general beside her nodded. They're scared, and they should be, she replied. We warned them. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in a forgotten control room. A red light blinked for the first time in 1,000 years. The air was still, the dust thick. Then a soft female voice spoke. Human protocol, activated. Machines groaned to life. Screens lit up. Old satellites in orbit turned toward the stars. Earth was no longer sleeping. Inside the underground bunker, an ancient AI opened its eyes. Its voice echoed through empty halls. Welcome back, Commander. The enemy has entered the system. A door slid open. Heavy boots walked through the dust. Last human general stepped out of cryo-sleep. Her name, Commander Arden. Vaer. She looked up at the blinking screens and smiled. They came back, she said. Just like we knew they would. She pressed one button. 1,000 warships hidden across the solar system powered up, silently waiting. The human protocol had begun. Scene 1. Union tries to understand. In the Union's top research base, a group of alien scientists gathered around a massive screen. We've recovered partial data from old Earth files, said Dr. Ulari, a short, green-skinned linguist. But something is wrong. The others leaned in. Entire sections of human history are missing, Ulari continued. Deleted. Erased intentionally. A cyborg engineer asked, deleted by who? Ulari tapped the screen. By the humans themselves. Hundreds of years ago, right after the war. But why would they delete their own war data? Ulari's eyes narrowed to hide what was coming. Scene 2. Arden's awakening. Commander Arden Vaer walked down a glowing hallway beneath old New York City, now buried under forests. Each step she took, new systems came online. AI drones followed her. Defense towers rose from the ground, invisible. Satellites adjusted their aim. She entered a dark command chamber. Holographic displays lit up. A deep male AI voice welcomed her. Human control grid online. Welcome, Supreme Commander Veer, awaiting orders. She stood still. Status, she asked. All Phase 1 traps activated. Union vessels destroyed. Psychological warfare spreading across sectors. Good, she said. Begin Phase 2. Wake the silent fleet. Scene 3. The dead moon speaks on Earth's moon. A hidden base opened for the first time in centuries. Dozens of stealth ships silently drifted into orbit. One Union patrol ship nearby noticed strange energy spikes. Captain Veltar ordered a scan suddenly. The patrol ship's screens went black. Then a message appeared. You crossed the line. We warned you. This is not war. This is justice. The human stealth ships disappeared again, no sign. No trace leaving, only fear behind Scene 4. Internal panic in the Union headquarters. Chaos erupted. We don't know their numbers. We can't detect their ships. We can't read their code. One frightened senator screamed, "What kind of enemy hides for 1,000 years just to watch us?" Admiral Vorta stood up. "They didn't hide," he said. "They prepared. They waited. They learned us another." Council members slammed at the table. "We must respond now. Attack Earth." "No," Vorta growled. "If we strike first, we die first." He paused, then added, "Earth is not a planet anymore. It is a trap." Scene 5. The secret human AI in a hidden chamber deep inside the Earth's core. The central AI, named Lucy, powered up. It had no body, just a voice. It had been watching alien movements for 1,000 years, listening, learning, predicting. It spoke directly to Arden. "The Union's fear is growing. Their alliances are weakening. Shall I begin infiltration?" "Yes," Arden replied. "Target their communications. Show them how it feels." To be in the dark, Lucian smiled, with pleasure. Within hours, 12 Union worlds lost their communication networks, their skies filled with false signals, ghost fleets, fake invasions, panic everywhere. None of it was real, but fear was. Scene 6. The message to the Galaxy Commander. Arden appeared on a stolen Union broadcast, across thousands of systems. Her face flickered on screens. She wore black armor, eyes cold, voice calm. "This message is not a threat. It is a reminder. You ignored our silence. You entered forbidden space. And now we remember. We were not gone. We were watching now. We are awake." Then the screen cut to black. No response came, because everyone watching was frozen in fear. Scene 7. Earth's new army in a deep canyon on Mars. Hidden gates opened. Inside were hundreds of soldiers, real humans, cloned, engineered, trained in silence. These were the sleeper spatial units bred to defend Earth when the time came. Commander Arden stood before them. "We warned the galaxy," she said. "They didn't listen. Now they will learn. Are you ready?" The sleepers slammed their fists to their chests. "We are Earth. We do not forget." Scene 8. Resistance or surrender. In a quiet corner of the Union, a small alien group called the Starkeepers met in secret. "We believe humans are not monsters," their leader said. "They only defend what we broke." Some of them wanted to talk with the humans. Others feared they would be killed just for trying still. The leader sent a probe toward Earth. Attached was a simple message. "We do not fear you. We seek peace." The probe entered Earth's system and wasn't destroyed. Instead, it was allowed to pass. The mining team landed on Mars at sunrise. Red dust flew up as their transport touched down. The sky above was hazy. Wind howled over the broken rocks. Their mission was simple: find old ruins, collect samples, and leave. But they didn't know what slept beneath. The team's leader, Captain Nair, looked at his map. "There's an underground chamber here. Old Earth-era structure. Could be valuable." They dug. 4 hours later, they found a thick metal door half buried under stone. And rust. No one had touched it in 1,000 years. Engineer Marlek connected power. The lights blinked. Then the door opened by itself. Dust poured out like breath from a sleeping beast. Inside they found a long dark hallway, and the sound of footsteps echoing in the silence. But none of them had moved. One miner whispered, "I think something's already in there." Then the lights died, and the screaming began. Scene 1. Union receives a distress signal in orbit above Mars. A Union science vessel named Lumistar received the emergency signal from the surface. "This is Mining Team Zeta 14. We found an old structure. It's human. There's something alive down here. It's not normal. Request immediate static." The transmission cut off. Commander Ulek, the ship's captain, ordered a scan. No signs of life, no movement, just silence from the surface. He frowned. "Send a probe. Keep the engines warm." Scene 2. The human vault deep underground in the ancient human facility. Lights slowly came back on. A recording played from the walls, an old human voice. "Welcome to Vaultred 7. This site contains biological weapons, AI research, and human genetic projects. Do not enter without clearance. But the mining team had already entered in the main chamber. They had found something strange, a perfect human skeleton sitting in a black command chair, holding a weapon across its lap. The bones were white. The suit around it looked brand new, and its eyes still glowed faint red. One survivor from the team, half burned and shaking, crawled to the door, but it slammed shut before he could escape. Scene 3. Commander Arden watches back on Earth. Commander Arden stood before a glowing screen. Lucy. The AI showed her the Mars footage. Vault Red 7 has been breached, he said. Containment holding for now. Arden's expression darkened. That vault was never meant to be opened. It held your prototype army, Lucian reminded her. The first attempt to build human AI fusion soldiers. Unstable, dangerous, and now, she said, they're awake. Scene 4. The AI soldiers awaken inside the Mars vault. Deep in a locked chamber, heavy pods lined the walls. Each pod held a human body with wires in the spine, metal around the skull, and frozen blue eyes. These were the ghosts, the first generation of human-machine warriors. They were never used too aggressive, too unpredictable now. The vault systems reactivated. Pod after pod opened, one by one. The ghosts stepped out. Their leader looked around, blinking fast. Then he said the first words. In 1,000 years. Orders. A signal came. From Earth, you are needed again. The ghosts smiled. Scene 5. The Starkeepers arrive, the peaceful alien group. The Starkeepers had been watching the Mars situation. Their leader Naro believed in peace with the humans. He sent a ship down to the surface to try contact. We don't want to fight, Naro said. We want to talk. Maybe they will listen. But as their landing shuttle touched down near Veltredsvan, something moved in the red dust. Dozens of ghosts in black armor stood waiting. They didn't shoot. They didn't speak. They just stared. Nero stepped out, hands raised. We come in peace, he said softly. One ghost stepped forward. Peace was offered once. It was ignored. Then the ghosts vanished into the dust. Scene 6. Inside the mind of a ghost, the leader of the ghosts, Unito 1, remembered the past. He remembered war, fire, betrayal. He remembered the orders. Sleep until the stars return. Then protect the homeworld. Now the stars had returned. He and his brothers walked through the dead halls of Mars. Silent but aware, not fully human, not fully machine, but perfectly loyal to Earth, to Arden, to the mission. Union back in Union HQ, panic spread again. They found more human soldiers. Where on Mars? How many of them are there? No one knew. The humans had hidden armies across planets. No records showed where, no patterns, no codes, just traps. One Union senator shouted, "We need to destroy Mars now, wipe it clean." But Admiral Vorta raised his voice. "If we do that, we'll confirm their fear that we will never leave them alone, and then they'll respond." A young officer entered. "We received a new message from Earth." Everyone froze. The message was short. Mars was a warning, not a weapon. Scene 8. Arden's warning. Commander Arden stood again before the Earth war map. The ghosts of Mars were awake. The vault had been breached, and now the galaxy knew what else was buried. Lucian spoke softly. "Do you wish to recall the ghosts?" "No," Arden said. "Let them move. Let the galaxy see what we almost used." "Fear is growing." "It should," she replied. Then she gave one more order. "Open Vault Sigma on Europa." Lucian hesitated. "You're opening another," she nodded. "It's time they understand how far we were willing to go for silence." In Sector 31, at the edge of Union space, the 7th Fleet waited. It was one of the largest battle fleets ever built. 500 ships from 12 alien species. Shields charged, weapons loaded, officers alert. Commander Tallow stood on the bridge of the flagship Justice Flame. He looked out into deep space. "Any sign of movement?" he asked. "Nothing, sir," replied his officer. "Just the void." Tallow nodded. "Good. If Earth tries something, we'll be ready." But they weren't. At exactly 0300 galactic time. Every ship's lights flickered. Screens turned black. Power dropped. One officer screamed, Something's jamming us. Then something moved, a black shadow, too fast to track, shot between ships. Like lightning. Explosions followed. One by one, the massive Union warships disappeared in flashes of red and fire without warning. Without a trace, Commander Tallow tried to shout an order, but the air around him froze literally the temperature. Dropped to freezing his last words. What is that thing? Then his ship vanished. In less than 30 seconds, the entire fleet was gone. Scene 1. Shockwaves across the Galaxy Union Command received only one signal from the 7th Fleet. Before they were destroyed, it was just static. Then one line of human code appeared on screen. Strike 1. Silence returned. Admiral Vorta watched the footage, his jaw tightened. One ship did all this. The communication officer said softly, "We never saw it. No heat signature, no warp trail. It just appeared." A scientist whispered in fear. It was a ghost ship. Vorta shook his head. No, something worse. This was their first strike, and we never saw it coming. Scene 2, inside the human superweapon fur, in the dark between planets. Hidden inside a cloud of space debris floated Project Rivenata. Human warship the size of a mountain, but it didn't look like a ship. It looked like a shadow. No visible engines, no lights, just silence. Inside, only 3 human pilots were needed. They sat inside cold metal chambers, linked directly into the ship's brain. Their thoughts were the weapons. The ship's AI spoke gently. Strike complete. No casualties on our side. Estimated enemy deaths, 91,000. The lead pilot, a woman named Lyra, opened her eyes. No celebration, she said. This was just a warning. Scene 3. The Union tries to respond back at Union HQ. Chaos returned. How can we fight what we can't detect? They destroyed 500 ships in half a minute. They used one ship. A senior general slammed his fist. This is not war. This is assassination. Someone else added, they're using psychological warfare. They don't want our territory. They want our fear. Vorta stood calmly. We were warned, he said. We broke the treaty. Now we face the consequences. Scene 4. Humanity debates the next move in, the hidden war room on Earth. Commander Arden watched the strike report. Lucian, the central AI, showed her a list of global reactions. Panic, silence. Surrender requests, he asked. Shall we proceed with Strike 2? Arden looked at the stars. No, not yet. Why? Let the galaxy fear what might happen. More than what did. Lucian smiled. That is very human. Scene 5. The signal from a dying ship on the edge of a dead battlefield, one small Union scout ship, escaped destruction. Badly damaged, its engines failing, its pilot bleeding, but he managed to send a final transmission. A video feed in it. The Revenant could be seen for 1 second. Just one frame, enough to show its terrifying shablon. Black, glowing faintly red, shaped like a blade from hell. The image spread across the galaxy, and with it, fear. Scene 6. Civil unrest spreads on thousands of Union planets. Citizens rioted. Why did we provoke the humans? Why didn't we leave Earth alone? Who started this war? Governments fell. Military leaders were replaced. Some colonies even tried to contact Earth's due surrender directly. A new message appeared across public networks. One strike. One fleet. One message. Do not force a second. Scene 7. The Starkeepers speak again. The peaceful group known as the Starkeepers released a message to the galaxy. Their leader, Nero, appeared on every screen. We believe the humans still hold the power to end this. Without full war, we ask Earth, will you talk to us? To everyone's shock, Earth replied, send one ship, no weapons. One speaker, no lies. Scene 8. Lucian's revelation. Lucian stood before Commander Arden in the war room. Why they never found the Revenant? The AI asked. Because we erased it from history, Arden replied. Even our own people forgot it. Correct. But now that it's been seen, fear will grow. Exponentially, Arden nodded. Let them talk, but keep the Revenant hidden again. Lucian asked, what if they send a fleet instead of a speaker? Arden looked straight ahead. Then we show them what 1,000 ships can do. The Council of 9 gathered in the Tower of Judgment, orbiting the Central Union world. Tensions were high. The room was filled with alien leaders, all different species, all speaking at once. They destroyed our fleet. They don't answer calls. They erased 91,000 soldiers like dust. High Chancellor Rixa slammed her clawed hand on the table. Silence. The room quieted. Then she whispered, "Who let this happen?" One ambassador stood slowly. Was Rovan from the Makari Empire. His eyes looked tired. He said only one sentence. "We should never have broken the Earth Treaty." Gasps. Old words. Old fear. That treaty was made 700 years ago, when humans first warned the galaxy to stay away. But everyone thought Earth was dead now. Clearly, they were wrong, and now, fear had turned into division. Rixa glared around. This council is broken. And at that exact moment, all 9 members received the same signal on their screens. You were warned. Divide yourselves, or we will divide you. Earth Command. The room fell silent again, because they all understood Earth wasn't just attacking with ships. Now, Earth was attacking their trust. From the inside, Scene 1, secrets uncovered in a darkened chamber on the planet Galton Prime. A secret intelligence unit reviewed new evidence. One analyst whispered, "Earth is not hacking our systems. They're hacking our people." The commander leaned in. "Explain." "They send fake messages, fake orders, even fake memories. People in high places start believing things that never happened. How? We don't know. Maybe some kind of mind code." The commander stared at the screen, horrified. "Then, we're already losing, and we didn't even know." Scene 2. Civil war begins on the Union world, Zentari. A military base turned against its own government. The general shouted, "The Union lied about Earth. We brought this war. I will not be part of genocide." His troops, thousands of soldiers, joined him. Within hours, other planets followed. Protests, rebellions, old leaders were thrown out. New voices rose, ones that respected Earth. Scene 3. The underground broadcast across the galaxy. A mysterious voice began appearing on every public channel. It called itself only Ek. You feared Earth. You attacked Earth. Now Earth teaches you what real silence means. The voice was calm, cold, human. It didn't scream, it didn't threaten, but people listened more and more each day. And faith in the Union slowly died. Scene. For Earth's hidden weapon inside the Earth Command Vault, AI Lucian stood with Commander Arden. He smiled slightly. "The Union has begun to collapse," he said. Arden looked tired. "We didn't fire again," she whispered. "We just told the truth." Lucian nodded. "Truth is more powerful than any bomb." "But what happens next?" she asked. Lucian turned toward a large black screen. One word flashed, "Reconciliation," he replied. "Now, we offer them a chance." Scene 5. The peace ship for the first time in 700 years. A human ship sent a message to the Union. It was not a warship. It was small, unarmed, and silent. It entered Union space without resistance. Inside was only one man, Ambassador Julian Rain, age 107, kept alive by nanots. He carried no weapons, just a message, and an old, dusty book. Scene 6. The Book of War. Julian was taken to a secret meeting with the remaining Union leaders. He placed the book on the table. "Do you know what this is?" he asked. They shook their heads. "This book contains the last treaty Earth made with the galaxy," he said. "It was ignored, forgotten. But we remember. Why attack now?" Rixa asked. Julian looked up. "Because you thought our silence was weakness." He paused. It was actually a warning. Scene 7. Not unity, but fear back on Union command. Officers watched how many leaders were starting to agree with Earth. They weren't doing it because they wanted peace. They were doing it because they were afraid. "This is surrender," another replied. "What choice do we have?" But one species, the Zari Dominion, refused. Their leaders stood on the broadcast yelling, "Earth must be erased, or we all fall." They left the Union that day, and Earth noticed. Scene 8. Divide and conquer. Lucian watched the list of Union planets begin to split. Some surrendered, some demanded peace, some began war preparations. Against Earth again, Arden turned to him. "You were right. We didn't need 1,000 ships." Lucian replied, "No, we just needed to make them doubt each other." And they did. The Union High Command sat frozen in the dark war room. Alarms were silent. weapons untouched, no enemy ship in sight. But planets were falling, systems were shutting down, whole armies were refusing to fight, and no one understood why. Then came a simple message whispered through every private channel. Asterisk, asterisk. This is Earth. You trusted your leaders. They lied. You trusted your allies. They betrayed you. You trusted your history. It was false. Who will you trust now? It was a question, and it broke everything. This was not a war of lasers. This was a war of whispers, and Earth was winning. Scene 1. Collapse of Commandant. The planet Isres, a fleet captain, opened a box delivered to him. Inside, one old Earth coin, a note. How many lies did you follow? Then aimed all weapons. At his own Union base, they never saw it coming. Across the galaxy, other officers began doing the same, not because Earth told them to, but because they didn't know what was real anymore. Scene 2. Voice. Without a face, Human AI codenamed, Shadow Eco was secretly broadcasting messages on all major Union systems. It didn't say orders, it asked questions. Why did your leaders lie about Earth's destruction? Why did they hide your history? Why is your economy breaking? Now, was peace ever real? Questions, just questions. But they planted doubt like poison. Even the strongest soldiers began to hesitate. Scene 3. The splitten Union world van rose. 200 senators gathered for a vote. Peace with Earth or total war. Before voting could begin, all 200 received the same message individually. Each message was different. Each message told a secret they thought no one else knew. Some messages exposed bribes. Others showed betrayal. One senator fainted. One shot himself. The room emptied. That vote never happened. Earth didn't attack. It just revealed the truth, and it shattered everything. Scene for humans in the shadows. Meanwhile, on a secret moon near the Nabari cluster, an elite team of humans not soldiers. But infiltrators had been living among alien populations for years. Now was planning betrayal. They made the rich think the poor would rise. They made the warriors believe their generals were selling them. Out, and in every case, a massive insectoid named Trelvoquent missing. His last speech was broadcast galaxy-wide. He said, I was wrong. Earth was never the danger. We were. We let our pride blind us. Now Earth returns, and they don't need weapons. We will fall by our own hands. An ancient library held forbidden knowledge about Earth's original rise to power. Someone set it on fire, but not before thousands downloaded copies. And suddenly, across thousands of systems, silent, because Earth had given them a choice, and now that choice was being taken away. Scene 7. The decoy. Fleet in the center of Union space. A fleet of 80 human warships suddenly appeared on scanners. Panic, screams, evacuations, the Union scrambled. Everything. Thousands of ships were sent. But when they arrived, there was nothing, just light projections, fake signals, ghost images. It wasn't a real fleet, it was a trick. The real damage was inside the Union itself. That day, 17 worlds surrendered out of fear, and not a single real shot had been fired. Scene 8. Message to the Zarith's only remaining aggressive species. We think silence is stronger. Try us. The Zari responded by preparing every ship. They launched missiles into deep space. They waited for retaliation, but nothing came. Nothing at all. No fire, no reply. No reply, no death. Just silence. And silence is the one thing warriors fear most. The school was locked. Security bots watched every door. Books were filtered. History was fake. Truth. They rewrote your past. But we remember. Join us not as slaves, not as soldiers, but as thinkers. The screen went black dot. The youngest student, only 14, whispered, we were never the enemy. And the rebellion began. Scene 1. The hidden Archivan planet, X4. Student Joe Novell, a quiet boy known for hacking school networks, found a hidden message labeled Project Human Silence. When he unlocked it, thousands of real history files poured into his screen, videos of Earth's original alliance, secret records of the betrayal vote, evidence that Earth chose silence, not war. He called 5 trusted classmates. They swore a pact, spread truth, no matter the cost. They formed a group. They called it the quiet. Scene 2. The spark spreads on. Different worlds. Others were waking up. On Torvin 3, an alien poet secretly added Earth truths in her lyrics. On Veltros Station, a teen mechanic shared forbidden history through broken dataships. On Fronal Prime, a young prince read a human book and refused to lead his army. It just watched and waited. Scene 3. The great school shut down one morning. Turned black. A single message replaced every lesson. Truth is not dangerous. Silence is. Union officials blamed Earth, but they had no proof because Earth never claimed responsibility. It never had to. The students did it themselves, and the galaxy's leaders were scared not of war, but of ideas they could not kill. Scene 4. Earth's message to the children. A new signal came. Only children could hear it. A frequency too soft for adult minds. On it, Earth spoke in every alien language. You were born free. You are not your leader's mistakes. You are the future. Let the old fight their wars. You build something better. Some laughed, some cried, but many believed Scene 5. Crackdown. The Union panicked. Study halls became military zones. Students were forced to wear trackers. Libraries were locked. Speaking of Earth became a crime, but it was too late because ideas can't be jailed, and every time a student was punished, 10 more joined the quiet. Scene 6. Betrayal inside the council. One of the youngest Union leaders, Senator Mera, Cal, secretly met with a human AI agent. He said, "You've done more with whispers than we did with armies. I don't know if I trust you, but I trust my own people less." He leaked secret orders from the Union, plans to silence student groups, blacklists of rebel youth, instructions for forced re-education. The leak went viral. And trust in the Union collapsed. Scene 7. The Symbol. One night. Listening. Hope. Scene 8. Earth still waits in the command bridge of the Revenant. Lucian watched thousands of screens. Each one showed a young face. Alien, human, mixed. Talking, sharing, learning. Arden stood beside him. They fight without weapons. Lucia nodded. They do something better. She asked, "What if the Union strikes them down?" Lucien replied, "Then the children will rise harder and stronger. That's the truth of youth." And the stars flickered with hidden signals. As the rebellion grew, the alarm screamed on Union Command Station Vortnine. 1,000 human warships detected. Commanders jumped from their chairs. Scanners confirmed it. A giant fleet. Everywhere. Over Syrinx, Veltras, Tovin, even Union Prime. Panic. Chaos. Orders shouted. But then, a captain looked closer. There's no heat signature. No energy reading. No life signs. Another shouted, "Sir, they're not real. It's a ghost signal." But outside, in orbit, the ships still hovered. They couldn't be touched. They couldn't be scanned. But every screen showed them. Every radar screamed. And in the middle of the silence, Earth whispered, "We only raised our voice." Scene 1. Illusions of war across the galaxy. Panic spread. Union fleets scrambled to fight. Missiles were launched at phantom ships, but the missiles passed through. Nothing. No explosions. No wreckage. Just silence. Admiral Direct, shaking, said, "This isn't a fleet. It's fear made visible." Scene 2. The architects of the illusion deep inside a blacked-out space station hidden in the shadows of Saturn's rings. 5 old human A's watched the chaos. One of them, Bach, smiled. It worked. They had hijacked every satellite communication, node, radar feed. They had painted fear in the sky. The ships weren't real. But the terror was. And sometimes terror wins wars without firing a shot. Scene 3. Cracks in the Union. Inside the Union Council chambers, leaders argued. "This is war. No, it's a trick. We must retaliate." With what? Against shadows. No one had an answer. They could no longer lie. The people knew Earth was awake, and it had 1,000 reasons to be feared, seen. For the truth broadcast, a new signal was sent, clear, open, undeniable, from Earth itself. A voice spoke, calm, firm, no war, no invasion. But if you ever raise your weapons again, look to your skies. The fleet will be waiting. We don't need ships to fight. We have already won in your minds. The signal ended with a slow fade to black dot. Nothing more, but that silence was louder than any bomb. Scene 5. Student reactions in school dorms across the galaxy. Students stood by windows, looking up. The ships weren't real, but they still felt real. One student whispered, "They're protecting us." Another said, "No, they're watching either way." No one questioned the truth now. Earth had never been weak. It had been waiting. Scene 6. A secret meeting in a hidden Union bunker. An emergency meeting was held. Some wanted to attack Earth, some wanted surrender. But one officer brought a new message from an unknown source. It said, "The fleet you fear was built from your own data. We just gave your minds what they already believed." It was signed, Project Revenant, Return of the Silent. The message meant one thing: the greatest weapon was belief. Scene 7. Earth's last move back on the human flagship, the Revenant. Lucian stood by the window. The ghost fleet glowed in distant screens. He said to Arden, "They see us now. Not our ships, but our idea." Arden nodded. "We didn't need war." Scene 8. The sky clears suddenly across all worlds. The ghost ships vanished. Just like that, no sound, no warning. Gone, but the fear stayed. The message stayed. And now, no noise, just silence. Then Earth's symbol appeared. 3 lines, 1 circle, the mark of old humanity. And then it began. A voice, human, but not just human. Deep, calm, powerful. It spoke across every system, every world, every ship. "You pushed, you threatened, you laughed when we went silent. Now you will listen." Millions stopped, froze, even in the Union War Council. No one moved. The voice was not angry, it was commanding, and in every heart, fear and respect collided. Scene 1. The broadcast continues. "We are humanity. We never vanished. We watched. We waited. We prepared not weapons, but will. You built empires on our silence. Now we will break that silence. We will not conquer. We do not want war. But if you ever raise a weapon toward Earth again, we will end you before you finish your thought." Scene 2. Reactions across the galaxy. In thousands of worlds, people stood still in marketplaces, in homes, in warships. Some cried, some smiled. This is judgment. Scene 3. The rebellion awakens across the Union. Small rebellions turned into movements. People began removing Union flags. Some ships turned their weapons away from Earth and pointed them toward their own command. On Veltras 4, a young officer declared, "From now on, we stand with the humans, with the silence that taught us more than your noise ever did." Scene 4. Inside Earth Commandants, Earth's hidden moon base, Lucian stood before the transmission panel. The speech continued, but he had done his part. Arden walked beside him. She said, "We didn't fire a shot." Lucian nodded. "And yet, we won every battle." Panic ruled. Councils collapsed. Fleets disbanded. Old leaders ran or vanished. No planet wanted war with Earth anymore. They didn't see Earth as a target now. They saw it as a power of balance, like a force of nature. Scene 6. Earth's final words. The voice returned for one last line. "We are not gods. We are not your enemies, but we are not weak, and we are not gone. Humanity lives, and now so do our rules." The screen turned black. Silence again. But this silence was different now. It meant peace. Scene 7. A new dawn. Years passed. A new galactic charter was formed with Earth as the neutral center. No weapons allowed near its space. No wars started without full approval. Humans sent only diplomats. But when they spoke, the galaxy listened and remembered. The ships, the fear, the silence. Scene 8. A story told. A grandfather sat with his alien grandchildren. They asked, "Did you see the ghost fleet?" He smiled. "I saw it, and I heard Earth speak. But their real power was never in ships or fire." He tapped his head. "It was in here. They made us all feel something, and we've never been the same since."